Hi, this is a new gardening segment we're going to be doing, and this is gardening for the zombie apocalypse. Now, if you listen to a lot of the people who are like, oh my god, the world's going to end, society's going to be destroyed, they're like, go buy gold. It's like, you can't do anything with gold, and how you divide it up, and I don't see it as a really great plan for people who don't have a big budget. And if you got millions of dollars, sure, buy some gold. But if you're ordinary people, you're going to want to deal in commodities that are more tradable and that the common people will want. Things like candy and cigarettes and stuff like that. Bullets are a great investment too, because a lot of things are going to be paid for in bullets one way or another. So I thought that getting into growing tobacco would be a good idea, both just to have it going as a crop, not necessarily to do anything with in ordinary circumstances, but to build up a supply of seeds which would be tradable. So I ended up getting 3 varieties, which you can see down here. This is the Burpee ceremonial tobacco, which is extremely high in nicotine, and actually some people have said can cause seizures, so it may not be the best tobacco to be using in reality, but I thought it was just kind of cool that it's a ceremonial product, and I picked it for that reason. Then we've got Staghorn, which is kind of a general purpose tobacco, and then we've got Turkish Samsun. I forget why I picked that one. So I'm just doing a sprouting and growing experiment with these 3, partly for zombie apocalypse reasons, but also because I just like growing unusual plants, and who grows tobacco, seriously. Now, one thing I should point out is that these seeds are really small. The Burpee seeds, right here, that is about the size of like a poppy seed, maybe a little bit smaller. Now the Staghorn is the size of dust, and the Turkish Samsun is, slightly larger, but they're microscopic. So it's going to be difficult dealing with them, and you're going to really have to squint to play around with these. One thing I've found is if you pour out your little packet of what looks like dust onto a piece of paper, you can shake it a little bit, and the seeds will roll because they're rounded. And like the seed holes and the debris will not roll, so you can separate them out a bit that way. In terms of picking them up, because they are a little delicate, I just wet my finger a little bit and pick it up. I did that instead of tweezers because I figured tweezers could damage the seeds. So that is the 3 varieties we've got, and we are sprouting them in a a Burpee seed sprouting tray. See it here? It's the first time I've tried one of these. It seems to do a pretty decent job. However, I have run into a few problems. The main one is that I ended up with mold. And I'm taking care of that, due to listening to people online, by watering with a weak tea made out of chamomile. I found the best deal on the chamomile tea at Sprouts, where I got it in bulk very cheaply. This is about, I think, $1.30 worth of chamomile, which goes a long way. So here we have the seed sprouting tray. It comes with a plastic cover like that. It also has labeled sections, so you can keep track of what gets sprouted where. And it comes with a reference sheet so that you can keep it all sorted out. Actually, let me switch it the other way for the camera. So over here, after 3 days, you can see that the Burpee seeds are all sprouting pretty well. The Staghorn, I think I kind of overwatered it and it may be dead or almost dead, but I put some more seeds in there and hopefully we'll get some action in the future. The Turkish Samsun, if you look super close, I don't know if you can even see it on the camera, there is some sprouting activity going on, and we will check in a few more days and see how it's coming along. So the mold that was in here has been mitigated by increased ventilation. I have kind of propped up the plastic lid, just left it off center and put it near a source of good ventilation. And also started watering with the weak chamomile tea. And we'll see how it goes, but it seems to have gotten rid of the mold. My recommendation would be don't overwater, and also I would just water the whole thing with weak chamomile tea to start with as a mold preventative. So this is segment 1 of our zombie apocalypse gardening, and we will see you in a little while. Bye.